One may wonder what the presence of UDA and ODM, how will it change the country moving forward?
First and foremost, we have not heard of a change in policy. We've only heard of two people coming together to continue implementing the same horrible policies that we've been seeing. They have been heard asking people whether they should unite after they have signed. So the wananchi outside KICC are rubber stamping what has already been done. I had the president who saying, "Munataka tuungane." Raila is asking, "Munataka tuungane." Why are you asking after you've already signed documents? And by the way, this was one of the saddest weddings I have ever seen. It was a wedding that did not have any happiness, even at the place where they were signing. So I do not think that there is anything positive for Kenyans in what has happened today.
Or are you trying to say that Kenyans are not gaining anything from that pact?
I will tell you this, and I want to speak directly to Baba supporters. I am one person who had voted for Baba, and today is a sad day for me, I regret. One of the things that will happen is, you see, they have to keep Baba happy. The supporters of Baba have decided that it is their business to keep him happy. So what we are going to do, if you wake up tomorrow and university funding model is not working, please don't criticize the government. Baba is in it, just pay from your pocket. If you wake up and SHA is not working, don't criticize the government because you're a Baba supporter and you want him to be happy, just pay from your pocket. If you wake up tomorrow and abductions are happening and there is a lot of affronts to human rights and you're a Baba supporter and you don't want to annoy Baba because he's in government, do not complain about it. Let people be abducted and killed and dumped and their bodies collected at City Hall or never, at City Mortuary or never collected at all. I think we've entered into a very dark space within our history where two people have come together, not for what they want to do for the country, but to just keep in place a government that Kenya. But God is faithful. He has put together what Kenya does not need in one basket, so that it is easy for us to empty that basket.
Is there any political value that any of them will gain from the deal individually?
5 times history has proven that if you want to know which team is going to lose the election, look for where a certain name is. And since that name is in that direction now, then that team is about to lose that election.
But Ruto has said that he does not support Raila so that he can return him a favor of voting for him in his re-election bid come 2027.
It doesn't matter what they say. Kenyans know what we want and what we have had and what we are saying. Their coming together has not brought back our 104 billion. Coming back together is not going to resurrect the Gen Zs who were killed. Coming together is not going to repair the damage that has been done to campus students who are not able to pay. Coming together is not going to undo the number of human beings that we've had to bury because they were turned away from hospitals because they did not have a proper medical care and proper medical cover. It cannot undo the ills that this administration has done. So even if they come together and sign whatever color of paper they sign, it will not undo the injustices and the atrocities that have been committed. I pity one good friend of mine, Edwin Sifuna, who is in a very hard place. I know Orengo is in a very hard place, and I know Professor Anyang' Nyong'o is in a very hard place. They feel that their intellect has been insulted, and there's nothing they can do about it. I could see how sad Sifuna was at that event, and even as he spoke, and you could see even from his choice of clothes, Sifuna was not part of this, but he had to be there because his boss was there. So it is an affront to every person who has an interest in human rights in this country.
So are you trying to say that perhaps Raila Odinga could have first gotten his house in order because there's a split between people who are a section of his ODM members who want him to work with Ruto and others don't? Are you trying to say that he should have perhaps focused on setting his house in order first?
The progressive thinkers in ODM do not want Baba to work with William Ruto. But the tenderpreneurs and the business beneficiaries of any merger with governments are very happy for this. In politics, we have people who mean well for their voters. And I know Sifuna is one of them, and I know Orengo is one of them. And then in politics, we also have tenderpreneurs who are there for their own stomachs. And there are too many in every political party. And those are the ones who've been pushing Baba to go into government, not because they mean well for the country, but because they think they stand to benefit something from Baba working with this administration.
About Sifuna, and it's like he was forced to be there. He could have opted not to, because we had the likes of Batzayo who did not attend. So when you say that he was forced to appear there, do you think that is politically sane?
Okay. The honest truth is that Edwin Sifuna is the Secretary General of ODM. And therefore, he needed to be there as the party Secretary General because the government was coming with UDA as a political vehicle. So Sifuna had to be there. I know it's against his wishes. He may not say that on TV, but he has always made it clear that he would never have wanted to dream that he could even imagine that he would work with William Ruto.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And perhaps before we end this conversation, is there any difference between this particular handshake or pact between President William Ruto and ODM Raila Odinga and what happened in March of 2018 between Odinga and former retired President Uhuru Kenyatta?
Yes, there's a substantive difference. The difference between the two is that one, which they prefer to call broad-based government, is a government based on blood of the Gen Zs. It's blood-based. It's not broad-based. There is a lot of atrocities and human rights abuses that have occurred in this particular administration that have never occurred since the independence of this country. And so joining hands with an administration that has committed such atrocious acts is very, very painful for Kenyans. We have seen what is happening. At least we used to know NHIF used to work. Even when Baba went to work with Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, it was visible that even as he worked with him, there was a lot of development that was going on. 10,000 kilometers of road was done under that administration, and you cannot take that away from it because those are stubborn facts. But we have an administration right now that we are trying to really point at what they have done and we can't see.
All right. Thank you so much, Fanyamambo, for your time here on KTN, just shedding light on what that particular pact between ODM leader Raila Odinga and President William Ruto means for the country. Now, I'm going to cross over to KICC, where Dennis Aseto is standby. Aseto, perhaps you can tell us what more has been said there?
Yes, good afternoon to you, Grace. And yes, indeed, a lot has been said from these premises right here. It is a place where has seen a lot of political formations made before. Even Raila Odinga actually announced his running mate, that is Martha Karua, right here today. It was a moment where President William Ruto and ODM Chief Raila Odinga made a decision here and addressed their members, saying that they will be working together. They will be going across the city in cleaning Nairobi River, perhaps even making sure that the citizens get to work together. But I'm joined by Thuku, who is the chairperson of the MCS UDA. And as we have this discussion, a lot has been said, and this agreement that has been signed today, they're saying it is not a political decision. Just what exactly is it then?
Thank you very much. My name is Kiruga Thuku. I'm member county assembly.
All right, we apologize for that technical hitch, but of course we're going to be heading back to Dennis Aseto at KICC just to tell us more about what Kenyans are saying about that pact. If I can just bring you to speed in what happened earlier, the ODM and UDA signed a memorandum of understanding on a framework of cooperation for what they say is a step towards unifying the country. President William Ruto and ODM leader Raila Odinga have emphasized that this is the right step of moving the country forward in terms of working together, ending tribalism, and also fighting for dealing with the pressing issues that are affecting Kenyans, among them fighting corruption in the country, accountability, a wastage of public resources, ending abductions in the country, and dealing with the cases of the high cost of living. Earlier on, we had our reporters on the ground from Kisumu and Nakuru, where we had mixed reactions of Kenyans when it comes to this particular pact. On one side, others were hailing this particular pact, saying that this is the right direction. We need to move forward. We need to end tribalism, and all leaders should come together so that the country can move forward. On the other hand, we had other Kenyans who are saying no, Raila Odinga should have remained in the opposition so that he can keep the Kenya Kwanza government or Ruto's government in check, so that some of these issues like corruption and ending abductions in the country can come to an end. Those are just some of the sentiments that came from a section of Kenyans earlier on from Kisumu City and Nakuru as well. Earlier on, we also spoke to Dennis Aseto, who we are going to be linking up with him in a few, of course, where he was telling us what Nairobians are saying about that union between President William Ruto and ODM leader Raila Odinga. What I can say is that March in Kenya should be a historic month, because in March 2018, that is when we had the famous handshake between retired President Uhuru Kenyatta and ODM leader Raila Odinga. And in this March, of course, we've had another one between President William Ruto's UDA party and ODM leader Raila Odinga's ODM party, where they say they have to come together so that the country can move forward. Also, what they talked about is that the union is going to ease political tension in the country. Remember, they have been the political temperatures in the country are, as we go on to the electioneering period ahead of the 2027 general election, and they say that the two leaders are going to be consolidating and having meetings on how to address these pressing issues that are happening in the government. And just to say what Sifuna said that the government must implement the National Dialogue Committee, that is NADCO report, and also protect the evolution in the country. Perhaps, I don't know whether Dennis Aseto is ready to speak to us, but just to bring you back to speed is the framework of cooperation that was being signed is between the two parties, that is the UDA party and ODM party. The ceremony was taking place at the KICC. President William Ruto and his party members, including his deputy Kithure Kindiki, was also present, as well as his Secretary General, National Chairperson of the party, that is Cecil Mbarire, was also present, and he was also flagged by other party members of UDA. Remember, earlier on, President William Ruto had a parliamentary group meeting with the UDA members at State House, Nairobi, before they crossed over to KICC. What we understand is that particular meeting was the president was just trying to inform his members on why this particular pact is important, not only for him, but it's very important for the country as it heads towards unifying the country so that we can, it is one in what they say that it's going to end tribalism in the country. Just to say what Odinga said that what they're going to work together, work closely with President William Ruto to fight against corruption, which has been quite a thing for this particular government. And also they're going to seek for accountability when it comes to, among others, the wastage of public resources, as well as ending abductions in the country that has been on the rise since last year during the Gen Z protest, and also come up with ways of ending or reducing the high cost of living in the country. We're going to be speaking to most our other reporters on the ground. Like I said earlier on, we spoke to our reporters in Nakuru and Kisumu County. Dennis Aseto is also standby at KICC just to tell us a feel of what Kenyans are saying about this pact. You can also talk to us through our social media handles and tell us, do you approve of it? Do you reject this pact, and why? Give us your reasons as to why you don't approve or you are for that particular pact. Mixed reactions there. As I said earlier, when it comes to the pact between ODM leader Raila Odinga and UDA party, just to mention, remember what happened in the 2022 after the general election. President William Ruto fiercely refused any form of handshake between him and ODM leader Raila Odinga. Remember, even then Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua had said that, he has blocked all sorts of entry points for ODM leader Raila Odinga, but that did not happen, as what we've seen today. Another historic moment there, where there was that pact or that framework of agreement between those two parties. And just to tell you what that the agreement actually entails, as you can see there on your screen, it entails the full implementation of the NADCO report. A lot comes in there. Remember, there was that debate on the Prime Minister position that is part of that particular debate. Once it sails through, does it mean that Raila Odinga is yet to become again the Prime Minister of the country? That can only happen after that particular full implementation of the NADCO report is implemented in Parliament. But that will not come easy. It will be a tall order. As for that to happen, the Constitution, Kenyans have to go to a referendum before they allow Odinga to be the Prime Minister. The deal is also talking about protecting and enhancing devolution. Before this pact, we had seen Raila Odinga and the ODM party saying that the president was killing devolution. So now what that particular pact says is that they're going to enhance devolution. They're going to ensure that more funds are given to counties just so that these counties can run smoothly going forward. They're also going to addressing youth unemployment. President William Ruto has been keen on searching for jobs abroad for Kenyan youth. We're going to see how that comes about. Leadership and integrity, that comes with accountability. That has been also an issue. We also have strengthening human rights. That comes with ending abductions in the country. That's one of the agreement. Raila has said. You also have evaluation of counties' debt, stockpile, and a fight against corruption. Fight against corruption. This is not the first time we've had Kenyans complain about corruption in the country, and the two have decided to work around that. Now let us head back to KICC, where Dennis Aseto is there. Aseto, good afternoon. Perhaps you can go on and tell us what Nairobians are saying about this pact.
Good afternoon to you, Grace, again, and we're coming to you from the epicenter where everything has gone down today.
All right, what you've seen on your screen is the Ruto Raila agreement, or the MOU, that has been signed at the KICC, where the two have decided to work together in unifying the country and progressing the country forward. And yeah, they're back there. Those are just some of the agreement. That is the full implementation of the NADCO report, protecting and enhancing devolution, addressing youth unemployment. And we've also had protecting human rights, addressing leadership and integrity. We also have strengthening human rights, where it comes about with the increased abductions in the country that Raila has consistently said that it needs to stop. Those are just some of the Ruto Raila agreement that has been signed this afternoon. Here on KTN, we just want to say thank you for your time. Thank you for choosing us as we brought you that coverage from KICC here in Nairobi. Also, a big thank you to our reporters on the ground and to the team that has made this bulletin a success.